not merely seeing reality, it is touching the truth.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Chronic Gamer. My name is Matt, and this is my final thoughts and redirect for Cowboy Bebop episodes 16 through 20. So go ahead, click the link in the description, check out the video over there, come back here, let me know what you think in the comments. If you would like to see next week's reaction video, the finale reaction to Cowboy Bebop, and you are currently watching this on YouTube, then check out my Patreon. It's usually released within 24 hours over on Patreon, my early access videos over there. And the next one's going to be the final 6 episodes of Cowboy Bebop. So if you're interested in checking that out, check out my Patreon, link in the description. Okay, so we had some really good episodes this time around. We had the first one, which was a nice, cool backstory about Jet and like how he lost his arm. And I said this several times throughout the reaction, but I want to say it again. This series is like a collection of tiny stories that talk about and tell little mini arcs about like the characters and what they go through on a day-to-day. And then they sprinkle in little gems like the Jet episode or the Faye episode, which I'll get to in just a second, where they talk about the backstories of the characters. And they don't give you a lot. They just give you enough to tell another small story but without overwhelming you and keeping you curious, keeping you intrigued without giving away too much. And they leave a lot to your imagination. And I think that's really unique of this series. It's a different series, and I find it fascinating that they even in the series itself they talk about how the collection of these stories is a genre in itself, and that genre is called Cowboy Bebop. It's very, very fascinating the way they decided to make this series, and I just wanted to say that right off the bat. All right, so anyway, back to the story about Jet. I guess he had this old partner, and the partner hit him up one day. He's like, yo, this dude, the guy who's responsible for you losing your arm, you know, he broke out. He's free. So, get on that. So he goes to find this guy, and it turns out that he's not the dude. He was like, he does work for the syndicate that Jet was chasing at the time when he was a cop, but it turns out that his partner was also working for the syndicate, and he never figured it out. And his partner was the one who was responsible for him losing his arm. I'm guessing his partner felt bad about it because he had the chance to kill him at the end, but he decided not to. And he kind of played like a little roulette game. Like he put one bullet in a revolver, spun it, and then closed it. And, who knows? It could be the next shot. It might be the last shot. Who knows? But it turns out that he wasn't as lucky, and Jet was able to shoot him, dealing him a fatal blow. So I think that was his way of like atoning for what he did to Jet, dying by his hands. And it was a very interesting episode where we got to see just a tiny little bit more of Jet's backstory. I mean, even Spike doesn't know how he lost his arm, so that was really cool. We had some silly sauce with some magic mushrooms. That was a very fun episode where Ed goes out and gets these mushrooms that are like, I don't know, they're magic mushrooms. And she gives the mushrooms to like the whole crew and just sits and watches them all trip out. And then she goes to try to catch the guy, but the guy fools her into saying that the mushrooms are worth a lot, but they're actually just plain old shiitake mushrooms. And they ended up just stewing them in the end because they were all hungry. Very lighthearted episode, bunch of silly sauce. But good episode overall. I really liked the episode with Faye as well, where we got to see her as a child. It didn't give us a whole lot of information on her backstory at all. It just showed us, all we really got to see was just the video at the end where it was her playing and talking to herself in the future. But it brought up like a whole bunch of emotions inside of Faye. You can just tell by her face when she was watching it. and she started crying at the end that she doesn't know who she is. She lost her memory from when she woke up after the crash, like 50 years, I think they said it was, or I think it was 50 years, if I'm not mistaken, but it could have been longer. So that video was probably recorded between like 60 and 70 years prior, and it was just very interesting to see her react to how she was as a child, because she has no memory of it at all. And I'm sure that, like I said, it brought a swell of emotions onto her. So I really liked that episode. This last episode was fucking crazy. The one with Pierrot. He was like some weird assassin that I guess, I don't know who it was, but they were experimenting on him, trying to enhance his body to make him some sort of super assassin. But I guess it fucked up his brain to the point where he couldn't comprehend what his reality, and he decided to like go on a killing spree to get revenge. But by the time he was done with his killing spree, he had regressed in his mentality so much that he was childlike, and he just went on killing people. Anybody and everybody that he's seen, he'd just kill him, I guess. So he's a fucking crazy dude. Super creepy episode. He was bouncing around off the walls. He'd shoot him, and this weird force field would come up. He reminded me a lot of a Batman villain. He like looked a little like the Penguin with his round, fat body, but he was also like the Joker, and the fact that he was like laughing, and he had all these gadgets in his coat. It was really, really bizarre. The animatronics in the amusement park were creepy as hell. Overall, I thought that episode was just plain fucking creepy, but I actually liked it a lot because it had great animation and great artwork. So can't really complain on that at all. It was creep factor times 100, but good episode overall. They had the pirate episode too, but it was an okay episode, I guess. I'm not sure why they were after pirates, if there was a bounty on pirates or if they were just going to rob the pirates or what, but yeah, they had that as well. Yeah, that's really pretty much it. I said what I wanted to say during the episodes and after the episodes. And like I said, these are just small standalone stories. Each episode is its own unique story of these characters. So there's not really much you can say to the grand scheme of things, at least not yet. Maybe in the last reaction, in next week's reaction, there'll be more that I can say, because they're going to wrap up the stories of these characters, so they might go into a little bit more detail in those, but I don't know. Overall, I'm enjoying the hell out of this series, and I'm sad that it's almost over, but I had to get through it quick because I can't be reacting to this many series at once. I just don't have the time, so I'm trying to get them quick so that I can just get back to reacting to 3 series at a time. You know, One Piece, Inuyasha, and then whatever the short series is. And then, you know, Inuyasha will end and we'll vote in another long series or a short series before the long series. But I really can only do about 3 at a time right now. If I get more patrons, obviously I'll do a 4th Patreon exclusive. There's a tier for that. If I get enough people in that tier, I'll definitely start that. But I want to keep it to around 3, maybe 4 series at a time. You know, I got to finish up the Fate series. I know that there's like some movies that I have to watch after that, which I'll definitely be doing. But yeah, as far as Cowboy Bebop goes, that's all I really have to say about these episodes. So let me know what you think in the comments section. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Chronic Gamer. Peace.